Hey everybody, this is Tim Charron, and welcome to my brand new podcast called The Charron Zone, blah, 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 blah. Hey everybody, it's Tim, and I'm going to answer another question that was sent in to me. This question is, again, it's from Michael. He sent me a few questions, so I want to split them up. And this question is, do you bring your own sound and sound engineer to mix when you're opening for a national act? Or does the national act take care of that? And it's a great question. The answer is no. I don't bring any sound or lights or anything. A lot of times, I'd say maybe about 25% of the time, we only have to bring instruments. Like we're opening for Parmalee in a couple weeks at the Florida Seafood Festival, and they have full backline. So backline, if you don't know, backline is basically your guitar amp, your bass amp, your drums, stuff like that. So a lot of times the venue will provide backline so that you can just bring your guitar, your pedals. Drummers like to, sometimes they'll bring their own cymbals. You have to work all of that stuff out. So this is a really great question. You have to work all that out starting in the contract, and then when you advance the show. And advancing the show is basically calling them, the sound company, like a week or so, week and a half before the show, and just double check, make sure that, hey, what do we need to bring? I will literally, I did this for, I had a drummer fly in to do the 4th of July in West Palm Beach, and they were going to have a backline, and I had to make sure, I had to call them and say, hey, I'm just triple checking that you guys, my drummer's flying in, so can you guys provide the full thing with cymbals, the throne or seat, sometimes they'll ask you to bring your own snare. So if you can't, you have to do that during the advanced part. So, but this is the really cool thing. And this is why booking gigs is so important. I went from playing solo acoustic gigs on a bar stool. I bring my own sound system. I did that, hundreds of those. To now it's wonderful. I mean, this is what we should all be. This is what I was striving for 6 years out of the past 10 years. So when you show up to a show and you're booking better shows, you're booking festivals, you're booking opening spots, you show up to a show and you pull up and there's a huge stage, there's a huge sound system, there are 1, 3, 5 engineers, sound guys, sound people working on your sound. There's big lights. It's that's the kind of gigs that you're really striving for. And no matter where you are, if you are playing bar stools or if you're playing open mics and you just you want to take that next step to just get the paid gigs at bars and stuff like that, playing solo acoustic or in your band. I mean, booking gigs this is the way to do it. This is the little steps that you take to get to those big stages, from the bars to the big stage, and it's awesome. So to answer your question, Michael, the national act really doesn't have much at all to do with it. It's the venue. It's the venue, the festival, the fair, whatever it is. They are going to provide sound, and by that it means the sound, the PA, the big sound system, and engineers to run it and to mix and everything. Now, backline is separate. Usually 75% of the time or whatever. They provide the sound, they provide lights, of course, stage, everything. You bring your guitars, your amps, pedals, drum set, all that stuff. All the normal stuff. Again, if they're providing backline, then you have to specify what exactly they're providing for backline. Extremely important, because you don't want to show up and say, "Oh, I thought you were providing a bass amp," and then you have no bass amp at all, which has happened. So always triple check. That's what I do anyway. So yeah, man, it's really cool, and so this is why you want to go after the venues to these big venues or the festivals to play gigs, because it's really great. The bigger the show, the better they treat you. You get a green room, you get places to hang out backstage, you get fed, all this stuff that you don't get in bars or at smaller shows. So there you go. Yeah, we do not bring our own sound or sound engineer to mix us. We rely on the people that are at the venue, and usually they are really fantastic. 9 times out of 10, they're great pros, and that's why they're working these big shows. But the national act, they usually don't have anything to do with it. Their people are not mixing you, to answer that question. So there you go. So let's get out there and book some more amazing gigs. This stuff is really exciting. You guys really, really, really deserve to be doing this stuff. It's the greatest thing in the world, playing for big, huge crowds and having people celebrate your music, and playing through on these big stages for these national acts, and getting to hang out with the national acts or people, these musicians that you've looked up to your whole life. I mean, I'll speak for myself. It's the greatest thing in the world, and I really want you guys and girls to succeed at this stuff. Get my free book. Get it right now. It's free. It doesn't cost you anything. It's at howtobookgigs.com. It's my very condensed. It's not a long book. It's a booklet. It's a guide, basically. It's my story and all the things that I have learned over the past 10 years of going from playing on bar stools to opening for over 30 national acts now, and playing a lot of big festivals and big stages. So go get it, howtobookgigs.com.